player or anybody. I'm just giving you how I feel. And how I feel right now with the Vikings is the biggest problem. Yeah, we're going to talk about the drafting as well. But the biggest problem to me is the coaching. Now, we fired the offensive line coach, right? Now, what's the excuse going to be? Now, I understand we had injuries, but the one thing that I keep on hearing is that's the reason why we were so terrible last year. Yes, injuries are part of the reason why we were bad, but it's not the only reason why. The biggest reason is head coach Kevin O'Connell. Let me give I got some people in the building. Shout out to Mary. Shout out to Smeagol. Shout out to everybody in the building. What's going on? Jace, what's going on? So the biggest reason for me is Kevin O'Connell and his stubbornness to change to what the talent he has on that football field. Meaning, right? When it came to 2022, I think that was his first season with the Vikings, 2022, right? Was it 2022 or 2023? One of the two. I think it's 2022. He took over. We had Kirk Cousins. We had the Donashell defense. Why did it take you so long? Why didn't you fire Donashell? Why didn't you fire the defensive coordinator if we're giving up all these points every single game? And even though our offense was pretty darn good in 2022, our defense was horrible, and you didn't you're the head coach. You're going to have to, listen, sometimes being nice doesn't get you far sometimes. It's okay to be respectful, but you can't be too nice when you're trying to win a Super Bowl. If your defense is horrible for 10 weeks straight, why didn't you fire Donashell, right? So you let him be the defensive coordinator. Kirk Cousins had a pretty darn good season. And what happened, ladies and gentlemen? What happened? We got to the playoffs. All these comeback wins because our defense was so horrible throughout the whole entire season. And guess what happened? Our defense not only let us down in the playoffs against Daniel Jones at home in the wild card game, but on top of that, throughout the whole entire season, even though our offense was pretty lights out, Kirk Cousins was pretty darn good that year. I ain't going to say Aaron Cat. Kirk Cousins was pretty good. That probably was his best season of his career, probably. We didn't run the ball enough. Even though we had a top 6 offense in 2022, we were 28th in rushing the football. So how does that make sense? And the reason why I'm bringing this all up, because if you're trying to get to the Super Bowl, I don't care if you have the greatest quarterback of all time. You have to have a better rushing attack than 28th overall. There's 32 teams in the NFL. Can you name one Super Bowl champion that had that low of a rushing attack and when it comes to rushing the ball that won a Super Bowl? I don't think I can name one, right? And the two teams that's in the Super Bowl right now got a top, well, let me see, the Patriots and the Seahawks. I'm all over the place, but let me land my plane. I'm gonna land my plane in a little bit. Give me about 30 to an hour. I'm gonna land this plane and I'm gonna get to the points, right? So you have, let's look at the rushing for, we're gonna look at the rushing for the Patriots. So the Patriots are 6 when it comes to rushing the ball. You want to know where the Seahawks are? Where are the Seahawks? Seahawks are 10th. So my whole thing is this. You have a quarterback of Sam Darnold's caliber with the Seahawks, and they're still rushing the ball a lot, right? You have a second-year quarterback in Drake May, and what are they doing? They're running the freaking football. This is not rocket science. Even though people want to overstate, it's not his fault that JJ McCarthy doesn't know how to run his system, bro. You have to adjust to what you have on the football field. You don't have Sam Darnold throwing the ball. You don't have Kirk Cousins throwing the ball. You have JJ McCarthy throwing the ball. So run the freaking ball. And even though I don't mean to be like when I'm saying we have JJ McCarthy like he's a bad quarterback, because he could be a good quarterback. But even though I'm saying all this, you got Sam Darnold. He was in the MVP conversations this year, and they have a top 10 rushing attack. You have Drake May in a second year. In his second year, he's 23 years old, and they rushing the ball so much throughout the season. They're number 6 in rushing the ball. So the common denominator for success for most of the teams that get to the Super Bowl is rushing the football. You don't necessarily have to be top 10, but you got to be better than in the 20s, in my opinion. And these two quarterbacks were both in the MVP conversations, and they're still rushing the ball. So you have a second-year quarterback in J.J. McCarthy. This is his first year, technically. He's kind of like a rookie. And you got this man throwing the ball 40 times, and don't nobody want to hold Kevin O'Connell accountable. And I'm not saying y'all, that's in the chat. I'm talking about not enough people is holding Kevin O'Connell accountable because he has so many wins during the regular season. But wins in the regular season doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win in the postseason. Let me talk that talk.
Talk that talk.
Because we're not trying to have regular season awards anymore. Yes, I would like to win the NFC North Division. Yes, I would love to be the first seed in the NFC Conference. Yes, et cetera, et cetera. But at the same time, I want to win a Super Bowl. And I know, even though people don't want to value running backs and the running game as much for some strange reason, especially if you're a Viking fan, you should love running backs because we have some of the greatest running backs of all time. For some reason, these teams that are in the Super Bowl are top 10 at rushing the ball. Where is the Vikings? And I know people are going to say, well, our offensive line was banged up. Then, okay, I'm going to get to that point, which is true, right? But how come in 2025 NFL season, per carry with Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason, we averaged 4.5 a carry? That is very good. I don't know where it ranks when it comes to the whole NFL, but I guarantee you it's top 15, top 10. Guarantee you. 4.5 a carry is pretty darn good. So why did we stop running the ball? Why did you not run the ball with our second-year quarterback? You put him in situations that he shouldn't have been in during the whole season. And I'm going to get to the chat real shortly. You put J.J. McCarthy in situations that he shouldn't have been in, and now a lot of people gave up on the young man. Yes, he has to take care of the football. Yes, the offensive line was banged up. Then why are you calling plays that are designed for 30 yards down the field when you know your offensive line is banged up? Can somebody tell me and give me a reason for that? It doesn't make sense because even though our offensive line was banged up, we were still rushing the ball very good. So why would you get away from something that's working for you when you have a top 3 defense, a top 10 defense all season long, and you gave – listen, I'm so happy that our defense did not give up on this team because if it wasn't for this defense, I truly feel that Kevin O'Connell would have got fired because we probably would have only won like 2 or 3 games. I'm being honest with y'all, because this defense was holding it down for most of the season. And our offense was ranked 29th in total offense this whole entire season. But let me get back to what I was saying about, what was I saying at the first thing? All right, so Sam Darnold. Even though Sam Darnold was terrific in 2024 for the Vikings, we won 14-3. What was the thing that really cost us? Yes, Christian Darrisaw got hurt. Injuries are part of the game, ladies and gentlemen. We just seen the 49ers get a game away from the NFC Championship game with a whole team that was hurt. So I'm not bringing up injuries right now. But we did lose Christian Darrisaw, but we replaced him with Cam Robinson. Kwesi was cooking and got Cam Robinson. Do y'all remember that? So even though that happened, right, what was the biggest thing that we were complaining about all season long? I know I was. Why don't we run the ball more? Even though Sam Darnold was throwing dime after dime to Justin Jefferson, throwing dime after dime to Jordan Addison, throwing dime after dime to T.J. Hockenson, Aaron Jones, whoever was the wide receiver, Sam Darnold was throwing dimes. But the one thing you do to help out a quarterback, whether he's a veteran or not, is to run the freaking ball. What did the Seahawks do this whole season? Run the ball. What did they do in the divisional round? They ran the ball. They barely even passed the ball. And people are like, oh, well, Sam Darnold didn't really do too much. We didn't need to. All you got to do is run the ball. Why do something different when it's working? And then in the NFC Championship game, he aired the ball out because he needed to. Put the team on his back and he aired it out. Did his thing. But my point is, the common denominator from when you go to 2022, right? Because I'm not even going to 2023 because I know Kirk Cousins got hurt. 2022, our rushing attack was ranked 28th. 2025, even though we're banged up on offensive line, or even though we was averaging 4.5 a carry, our rushing attack is 23rd. In 2024, even though Sam Darnold was playing at an MVP caliber pretty much all season until the last couple of games, our rushing attack was 19th. The common denominator is Kevin O'Connell. Yes, the numbers look great, but people got to look past the numbers and see what's on that dang on football field. And are we getting dubs when it counts the most, or are we losing when it counts the most? We're losing when it counts the most. So all these nice little stats that everybody glorifies when it comes to all these passing yards and all that other stuff, it might not get you the Super Bowl if you don't run that dang on ball. Whether if we had Sam Darnold in 2025 or not. If we had Sam Darnold in 2025, we probably wouldn't be, I guarantee we'll get to the playoffs. I tell you that right now. We'll get to the playoffs. Even with a banged up offensive line, we will still get to the playoffs because Sam Darnold could use his legs as well. He's not athletic like J.J. McCarthy, but he can still use his legs, and he's super, super accurate. He's more athletic than people give him credit. But we will get to the playoffs. But it's not a guarantee we would be in the Super Bowl like the Seahawks. And the reason why is coaching, play calling. We have the defense, y'all, but we don't have the play caller. We have the defense, y'all, but we don't have the play caller. When it's 3rd and short, we will go for a play action pass, going for a touchdown. When it's 4th and inches, he will call a play, a trick play with our tight end, one of our slowest players, respectfully speaking, TJ Hawkinson, and try to run it with our tight end instead of running it with our fullback or something like that. It does. Some of the play calling, he overthinks it. I feel like he thinks that football is rocket science. I'm not saying that is a sport that you can't think, but some of the most intelligent people play football, right? But at the same time, he overthinks it and tries to do too much. And I understand people love the wins when it comes to the regular season, but I'm tired of talking about regular season as a Viking fan. I want to talk about wins in the postseason. When's the last time we got to the Super Bowl? Can anybody answer that question? Can anybody answer that question? Probably 40 years ago. There's so many Viking fans right now that haven't even experienced the team getting to the dang on Super Bowl. The most we experienced since we've been a Viking fan, I'm talking for myself and other people like my age, we experienced the NFC Championship game twice. One with Brett Favre when we lost to the Saints, and another with Case Keenum. It's a bull crap. It's bull crap. I'm trying to win a Super Bowl. And the weakest link for me is the head coach. Now we got to talk about drafting. Hold on now. Let me get to the chat. I just had to speak my mind because I'm so freaking frustrated. And not enough people are holding this coach accountable. When it comes to developing, you put our quarterback in the wrong positions. I'm talking about J.J. McCarthy. You made him look like he was worse than what he actually was. And I'm not saying that J.J. McCarthy didn't make mistakes. That's not what I'm saying. So I don't want people saying, oh, you just think you think he's going to be great, or he's not as good as you think he is, or I don't even know if he's a bust or not. I don't think he is. My biggest thing about J.J. McCarthy was never his talent. It was his being available. Available is my biggest question with J.J. McCarthy. It is not his talent. Yes, I'm a Drake May guy. I've been telling people prior to the draft that I'm rocking with Drake May. That was my guy. It was Drake May and it was Caleb Williams, my two quarterbacks in that 2024 NFL draft. But since we drafted J.J. McCarthy, listen, I've been rocking with J.J. I've been sticking up for J.J. probably more than a lot of other Viking fans. The one thing that I just can't really say anything about is injuries. If you think about it, right? The last few games, how many games we won in the last 3-4 games? We won like 4 games in a row, whatever, right? What did Kevin O'Connell say? He adjusted, he simplified the play calling for his young quarterbacks, which he shouldn't have even said that, because now we know you were stubborn the whole entire season and you let our guy fall apart. You let our guy fall apart all season long, and you waited until week 14 to simplify the play calling. You waited till week 14 to simplify the play calling. And when he simplified the play calling, what happened, ladies and gentlemen? He looked like a different quarterback. Whether he threw for 300 yards or not, he looked like a different quarterback. But it's unacceptable for a head coach to wait until week 14 to make adjustments. That's the same thing I was talking about defensive coordinator in 2022, Donna Shell defense. You need to fire people that's not doing a good job. If your offensive line coach ain't doing a good job, why didn't you fire him and replace him? That is a sign of a leader. Listen, you can't be too nice when you're trying to win a Super Bowl. You can be respectful, but they got to go. If they're not doing a good job, they got to go. And I'm so tired of all these excuses with Kevin O'Connell. I had people saying, well, if we let Kevin O'Connell, and I say this respectfully, if we let Kevin O'Connell go, 10 other teams are going to want him. Take him. You think I can? Listen, take him. Take him. I'll take Mike Tomlin. We could have had John. There's a couple other coaches I would like to take. Take Kevin O'Connell. If 10 other teams want him, go take him. Because what I know now, he doesn't like to run the ball. Like, everybody's so, like, Kevin O'Connell could do no wrong in people's eyes. It doesn't make sense. Do you not want to win a Super Bowl or not? When the Eagles, shout out to TY, shout out to everybody in the building. God bless everybody. Make sure you hit the like button if you haven't already. Hit the subscribe button. We're going live for primetime games, and we're also going live for every Viking game with the scoreboard and everything. Whether you're a Viking fan or not, consider subscribing. This is one YouTube family. But get into the Eagles, right? They fired their Super Bowl winning head coach because he wasn't part of the plan. Want to know why? Because he wasn't trying to be part of the plan. He thought his ego was too big. He didn't want to match the GM's energy, so he said, I'll skedaddle. Hasta luego, hasta la vista. We'll get another head coach. And they got another head coach, and they won another Super Bowl. My point is, Kevin O'Connell ain't win no dang on Super Bowl, y'all. He ain't win no Super Bowl. So why is people saying that he's such a great coach? Where is our standard so low? Or we like, listen, I'm asking a simple question, y'all. Are the Minnesota Viking fan base standards so low when it comes to great coaches? You can just win a lot of regular season games, and that's all, and you don't have to win when it counts the most. Because I'm a Viking fan, and I'm for dang sure my standards are high. Listen, that's why I'm willing to skedaddle when it comes to him. We stuck with him. But we could have had other coaches this offseason. This was the best offseason to get a head coach. We could have got John from the Ravens. We could have got Mike Tomlin from the Steelers. Mike Tomlin never had a losing season. Mike Tomlin never had a losing season. And the Steelers let him go. They signed Mike McCarthy. He got one Super Bowl too, by the way. But my point is, this would have been the year. But listen, if Kevin O'Connell does not adjust his play calling, Viking fans, I want you to hear me loud and clear. If he doesn't adjust his play calling, we are not winning a Super Bowl with Kevin O'Connell. I say that respectfully for all the Viking fans all around the world. Whether you listen, I love the Vikings just as much as y'all. Kevin O'Connell, if he doesn't adjust his play calling to what the talent is on the field, whether there's injuries, whether J.J. McCarthy's the quarterback or not, we're not winning a Super Bowl because you have to run the ball. You have to be decent at running the ball. When the Eagles won it in what year did the Eagles just win it? The last year. Saquon Barkley was the leading rusher, I believe. They ran the ball all the dang on time. Most of the teams that win Super Bowls run the ball pretty good. I'm trying to tell y'all, throughout the history of the NFL, throughout the history, yes, there might be some teams that might be 20th, maybe, at running the ball, maybe. But for the most part, most of these teams run the football. I'm just being honest with y'all. We can't just air the ball out. And I heard a shout out to Purple Daily. I want to give a shout out. I was listening to them this morning. Shout out to them. I was listening to them talk, right? And they was talking about Kevin O'Connell, and you know how the game against the what was it? The Patriots versus the who the Patriots just barely beat? The Broncos. The Patriots just beat the Broncos in that crazy weather. They were saying, would Kevin O'Connell try to throw the ball, in other words, or would he run the ball? You have to run the ball in that weather. Kevin O'Connell will probably try to air the ball out. I'm telling y'all what I know. This man would try to throw it 30 yards down the field when there's a blizzard happening, when there's a snowstorm happening. This guy cannot get it together, y'all. I'm trying to be positive, but I'm so over being, all right, let me just be let me not go all the way out with it, how I really feel. I got to go all the way out with it, y'all, because I'm so tired of losing. I'm tired of losing. I am so tired of losing, y'all. And when you talk about Sam Darnold exposed this team because he's in the Super Bowl, they got a top 10 defense, and they have Sam Darnold. But what's the difference? We have better wide receivers than the Seahawks, in my opinion. I think Justin Jefferson's better than Smith, in my opinion. I think Jordan Addison's a very good wide receiver, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Our offensive line ain't the best, but it's decent. They got a decent offensive line. What's the common denominator? The play calling, y'all. And what makes me so irritated, you got Bradbury. We thought he was a bust. We thought he was terrible. We thought he wasn't good. He's the starting center for the Patriots right now. The Patriots are in the Super Bowl. I made a joke, and I want to say I apologize, Bradbury. I apologize, bro. It wasn't you necessarily. It was the play calling, because when you had these long, drawn-out plays that take a while to develop, it's going to give the deepest line, the linebackers, the safeties, the cornerbacks to pretty much be able to, get to you. Listen, facts are the facts, y'all. Facts are the facts, and I'm tired of all these people sticking up for Kevin O'Connell. If he doesn't do his thing this season, I hope Viking fan standards are so much higher when it comes to winning and trying to get to a Super Bowl that we are going to say, fire him. Straight up. Fire him. If you can't do the job, fire him. If you're too nice and our offensive line coach sucks this upcoming season and you don't fire him, you need to get fired. How is it that our defense is the identity of this team when our head coach is an offensive-minded head coach? How is that? I know I'm not, listen, how is that? Our defense, we don't have no Myles Garrett. We don't have these giant superstars on defense, but we have a lot of dogs. We have a lot of good players, and we have a heck of a defensive coordinator that needs more credit. And Brian Flores, since he's been a defensive coordinator of the Vikings, has made this team a Super Bowl contender. Just on the defensive side of the ball. I can't talk about the offensive side of the ball. But on the defensive side of the ball, for the most part, it's been amazing since he's been the defensive coordinator. But can our offense match the energy of the defense? And we better hope Brian Flores stays. Man, I know there's like a good chance he might stay at this point now, but it ain't guaranteed. Let me get to these comments. I just had to really talk my mind because I'm so frustrated and I have high standards for this team to win a Super Bowl. And I am tired of people giving Kevin O'Connell a pass every single year. Oh, his injuries. Well, what about the excuse about the 49ers? The 49ers lost their whole team almost. They even lost George Kittle in the dang on game against the Eagles and still beat the Eagles in Philly. George Kittle's one of the best tight ends in the game. He lost him. Kyle Shanahan made the adjustment and had the fullback catching passes. That's a sign of a good head coach, y'all. We gotta get our standards higher when it comes to winning Super Bowls. We better not be the last team in our division to win a Super Bowl. That's all I got to say. We got to figure out something. We have to figure out something and fast. I'm so tired of being tired. I just want to win, y'all. Like, it's nothing personal on Kevin O'Connell. Some people will be like, oh, like people getting their feelings. Oh, you just hate Kevin O'Connell. Oh, you don't like him. It's not that I hate Kevin O'Connell. I don't hate anybody. I don't hate nobody in this world. I might dislike some people, but I don't hate nobody in this world. But I'll tell you one thing. The one thing that I want to do is win a Super Bowl. And what I am seeing is that this team has no chance to win a Super Bowl, even with a top 10 defense, because our head coach doesn't want to make adjustments. All these freaking excuses. All these excuses, y'all. Our offensive line's hurt. Well, why did we average 4.5 a carry when we did run the ball? Why, when we ran the ball successfully, why did he give up on it in the second half when we're not even losing by a lot of points? Or we might be winning. We might be winning, and he'll still give up on the run. Why is that? Give me all the excuses in the world for Kevin O'Connell. Give me all the excuses, because that's all I hear when it comes to Kevin O'Connell. And I'm about to get to the drafting. Oh, my goodness. I'm about to get to the drafting as well. Kwesi, you are not going to escape the smoke. You're not going to escape the smoke, Kwesi. Trust and believe you're not going to escape the smoke, Kwesi. This upcoming draft, you better get them all correct. Because I'm going to tell you this right now. There's no way that all the picks, and it's not all his fault, but a lot of it is his fault because you're the GM, you're the boss. So you need to know your personnel. If you draft certain players that need to be developed, you have to make sure you have the head coach and the coaches to develop them. If you know that your coaches can't develop anybody, why are you going to draft a player that needs to be like really developed? Let me talk that talk. Why would you do that?
That talk.
Because I'm going to keep it real. Ed Ingram looked pretty good with the Texans. Bradbury, I don't think he drafted Bradbury, but Ingram was a second-round pick. He looks really good. So how did he look good with the Texans? And that's why I said head coaching is a problem. Head coaching is a problem. I mean, or coaching in general is a problem. But Kwesi, you going to get the smoke because at the end of the day, you know what we have. You know what coaches we have. You know what coaches we have, bro. So if you know we got these type of coaches, you need to draft players that are almost ready to play right away, bro. They might not have the highest ceiling, but they're ready to play because you know that's because you're going with the highest ceiling. If you develop them correctly, you know Kevin O'Connell ain't developing. You know our coaching staff don't like to develop. Look at J.J. McCarthy, y'all. He sat 1 year with a meniscus tear, and he looked like he didn't know what the heck what he was doing in the first couple of games. He looked lost. Our starting quarterback looked lost for most of the season. And you want to know why he looked lost? Because he wasn't developed properly. You want to know why he looked lost? Because of the play calling. I'm just being real with y'all. Shout out to everybody that's in the building, man. Appreciate y'all, man. Hit that like button, man. I'm going to read the comments right now, but I just had to get that off my chest. I'm so freaking fed up with all these excuses. I just want to freaking win, y'all. I just want to win. And I hope Viking fans are with me with this. I know not everybody's going to agree. Some people are going to be like, oh, Kevin O'Connell can do no wrong. Kwesi Well, I don't know about Kwesi. Kwesi got to get his act together too. He did draft Dallas Turner. I love. There's a couple of players he drafted. I can't think off the top of my head, but he has to do better in the draft. He hasn't been the best. Don't trade backwards. Trade up if anything. And I always look at it like this: quality over quantity. If the player is right there in the draft, Kwesi, you better draft him. You better not draft backwards. Draft him. We have a lot of picks in this draft. We don't need any more picks in this draft. You could honestly stick and pick this whole entire draft if you really wanted to. But I don't think he's going to. You better get the players that we need. Quality is better than quantity because you could have 100 picks and 99 of the 100 picks could be all duds, could be all busts. So you need to get the players that are good that you gotta go with your board. If this guy is there, don't get greedy and be like, I could get another 3 picks and trade back like 10 spots. No, draft that guy, bro. Draft that corner if he's high on your board. Draft that defensive tackle that's high on your board. I don't care listen, and tell your coaches if you don't develop them and they look like they can't get on the field for the whole entire season, you're all fired. You're fired prior to the season being over. We're not going to wait till the season to be over to fire coaches like Kevin O'Connell. Our offensive line was terrible the whole entire season. We're going to fire you in the offseason. I think it's a little bit too late. We're out of the playoffs, bro. We're out of the playoffs, and you fire him at the end of the season, fire him during the season, and replace him. Why are you going to fire your offensive line coach after the season when it was horrible all season? Due to injuries and play calling, because it's not just all on him. It's the stinking behind play calling. My bad, y'all. I'm sorry. I don't want to say I'm sorry, but I just had to get that off my chest before I read some of these comments. I'm sorry I missed a lot of y'all comments though.